Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. It is mid-November here in Southwest Florida, and this is the time of the year that some people start getting a little jealous of where I am and what I can do. So this is like a beautiful day. We had a cold front come through last night, and cold front means that it's nice. It's not really hot, not really cold, but it's just, this is a beautiful day. I have a short video for you today. I just want to highlight two what I call surprise blooms, and what that means is that normally I have enough, few enough orchids in my collection, so and I'm retired, so I can look at them almost every day, and sometimes multiple times a day. But I go through and I see where things are. I can see when plants are in spike. I go and I feel the sheaths and tell if the blooms are coming out. And these are two plants that escaped me, that I didn't see them blooming or about to bloom. I saw them when they bloomed, but I didn't see them ahead of time. This one, because it was, because you got green blooms and it was up in a green space high up in my pergola, and this, just because it was so high up, I didn't see what was going on until it bloomed. Now, how can you miss such big blooms? Well, it's way up at the top of my pergola, and I just didn't see it coming. Anyway, let me get to these plants. So this is Ports of Paradise Emerald Isle, and I showed you this just a few weeks ago. Blooms, really nice blooms, on a plant that I gifted to somebody else. So I no longer have that plant, and to be honest, that plant was a little nicer than this plant. But I made a division. I have four. I think I still have four of these left, and this is the next one to bloom for me. Ports of Paradise is a really old hybrid. It is a Digbyana cross, which gives it this nice frilly lip. The colors of this thing, it's called Ports of Paradise Emerald Isle because it is a, it is a yellow flower, yellow to green flower. So this will start out more green. It'll turn a little bit more yellow as the bloom matures. This opened up maybe a day or a couple of days ago, and I didn't notice it at that point. Really nice fragrance. The only problem with this plant, I've got it kind of staked up here, and even with that, it kind of falls down a little bit. So that's the only problem with this plant. It's really prolific. It does kind of spread out a little bit, but if you kind of make a hybrid of this one with one that tends to be a little bit more compact, I think you'll end up with some really interesting things. So right now, when I'm looking at the pot here, this is mostly in lava stone. It is growing over the edge of the pot, and the plant, there doesn't seem to be many leaves on the plant. It's kind of spread out. It doesn't seem to be doing well, but lo and behold, nice blooms. The fragrance on this, maybe because of I'm biased and maybe I'm influenced by the color, but it's kind of a citrusy, sweet fragrance on this bloom, and it is very fragrant. All right, so Ports of Paradise, the cultivar is Emerald Isle. It's a hybrid that's been out for a long time. Okay, take a look at this one. This one is, I think it's Cornerstone. The cultivar, it's RLC Cornerstone. The cultivar is Compass. So this is a plant that I got from RF Orchids a few years ago. It is a huge, fragrant, dark purple flower. This thing really is an amazing plant. It's incredibly vigorous. When you take a look at this plant, and this is in the original pot that I got from RF Orchids, but the roots are just coming out all over the place. And what I was actually planning on doing, because of this extensive root, this is clearly overgrown the pot. I mean, it hangs in my pergola, and it's getting a little lopsided because it's growing mostly out of one side, but it does have some new pseudobulbs coming out of the other side of it here, so it'll pretty soon be making roots coming down over this side of the pot also. But this plant is doing extremely well. I have made hybrids. Actually, I made hybrids with both of these plants. I've made a hybrid with this plant, and I'm really excited about it because I think I crossed Cornerstone with a yellow, slightly flared Cattleya, and I got no idea what is going to come out of that, but I'm all excited to see what that looks like. Again, this I've been kind of keeping an eye on it, but I've been watching more of the roots for when I get new root growth coming out of the side of this. I was going to divide it. Now, now what happens is you really have to wait for the flowers to. Usually, what happens is the flowers kind of peter out, and then they put out some new growth and both pseudobulbs and new roots, and then I'll divide it. So this is in what I would call this close to badly needing division. The fragrance on these shoots, and it's just a huge, beautiful flower. I mean, just big and flawless. I had to do it again because I wanted to smell it correctly, but also because when you have this, you just can't inhale it. It cannot inhale it enough. This is a great scent on this thing. It's a classical Cattleya, maybe with a little spicy fragrance associated with it. But just a great plant. The other thing on this plant is that when I look at it, I didn't even. So let me back up a little bit. When I am looking at my Cattleyas, what I do is I like to feel the sheath that is at the end of the pseudobulb here. And this thing is so high in my pergola, all I could do, I went in and I could reach up and feel some of the sheaths, and I didn't feel anything. But not all the sheaths have new flowers inside. But I do have, there's another flower coming, maybe two, maybe three, but probably two flowers coming out on this sheath. Nothing there. Let me see over. Yeah, there's something in here and something in here. So there's going to be another 6 flowers coming out of this plant that are behind these two. So I imagine this is going to be in constant bloom for maybe a couple of months. Some of the blooms are pretty deeply in the sheath. These are just emerged and the flower is starting to unfold. So this is going to be blooming for a long time. It's going to be giving me lots of color, lots of fragrance, and I'm going to move this inside onto my lanai, my pool lanai area, so that I can get the fragrance. Usually Cattleyas are fragrant in the morning, and that's what I want to have from this. Anyway, so these are the two main orchids that I wanted to show you. But if you're still watching, I wanted to show you one of my favorites right here, and I've highlighted this with you previously, but this is clear stars. This is a plant that I rescued from almost being completely killed with black rot, and I looked at the plants today. They look really good. The roots are growing just a little bit. It's been a short time since I potted them up. The roots are growing just a little bit, but the plants still look really good. But this is the plant that was gifted to me. This has, when it was gifted to me, it already had a couple of blooms on it, and I crossed one of them. And so what you can see right here is that one of the blooms that's completely senesced or faded, or kind of the petals and sepals have died out, gone, which is a good sign, which means there may be a capsule forming. And then this one I didn't do anything with, and this one still looks really good. So again, it's an indicator, early indicator that this was a successful cross. There's another bloom here and another 2 blooms here. One's open and one's starting to open. But again, great plant. I'm going to have a lot of these in a little while. This one is big enough, so I might even have to divide this. So anyway, just wanted to give you an update at Clear Stars, and what I wanted to do is show you that flower that I pollinated. I think it was about a week and a half ago, and that it looks like it's been a successful pollination, and I'm hopeful about it. So that's interesting. This is an Idosa hybrid. So it's got the star shape. It's a big star-shaped flower, and what I did is I crossed onto it one of the big frilly multicolored flared cattleyas that I have. So I'm gonna, it's gonna be interesting to see what I get from all these crosses. And that's why I do this, is because I'm really excited. In my mind I can kind of see what I'm gonna get, but there's nothing like the the joy of getting new flowers. I do have some others, so I'm keeping track of my other flowers. I've got a flower over here off the screen that I saw the other night when, believe it or not, I was out here with a flashlight, because I was somewhere else all day and I didn't get home until night. So I came out and looked at my orchids at night with a flashlight, and I don't know if I would have noticed it on this plant in the daylight. I see it now because I know it's there, but it's a dendrobium. I've got some other dens that are putting out new spikes, in some cases first blooms. I've got a lot of orchids that are in spike that are going to be blooming in about another week. I do want to mix in some videos on repotting and dividing more. I've got so many seedlings I need to repot. I'm probably going to do a video on that as well. Anyway, lots of things coming up. I hope you enjoyed my video today. Lots more coming. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for you again today. I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.